Hey everybody, it's Mark, Cedar Creek Bottoms Farmstead with another fireside chat. Yep, back up on Creepy Mountain. I was gonna go to the field where the thermal was caught back in 2012 that ended up being on Finding Bigfoot, the Alabama 2013 show. But came up here the other day, found something else I want to show you. In fact, I had sit there for 30 minutes and never knew it was there. I want to show it to you. I'm gonna let y'all make up your mind what you think it is and what you think. So this is one of the places I hunt. I keep 2 or 3 places on the club that I frequent. I try not to hunt the same spot to death because the deer, of course, learn your patterns. So I'm gonna show you this, and hope everybody's had a good week. Kind of mild here in Alabama this week. We had the freeze and we had the pouring down rain with the floods, and now it's back cool, but it's mild during the day. I think right now we're in the 50s. It's been a sunny day. Yeah, our deer in east central Alabama are still in the rut right now. So appreciate all the comments from my last fireside chat from last week. Appreciate all the comments. Me and Rebecca really appreciate everybody that joined us for a live this past Friday night. Look forward to y'all coming back this Friday night with us at 7 o'clock. I really appreciate that everybody supports us, backs us up, because a lot of folks in this field don't back each other up. So I appreciate everybody that backs us up, and the love and prayers y'all send our way. That means a lot to me and her. Like I told you, we always look forward to our Friday night lives because that's the time we get to interact with y'all. Yeah, we're not sitting talking about Bigfoot and all this all the time. We talk about life. You know, Rebecca tries to give information she thinks to people that might be you know, wanting to garden or have stuff, and you know, she's gonna start doing the cooking stuff, and you know, sometimes I'll talk a little bit about homesteading and stuff, but it's about people. It ain't about this Bigfoot all the time. You know, that's where my fireside chats come in. That's when I get more over onto the Bigfoot and not gonna worship these things like some folks do. Alright, I'm going to ease up here. I'm going to show you the sign. I'm going to tell you the truth. But every one of my videos ain't always going to be about Bigfoot. And I'm gonna stop the camera when we get up here where I can get all my stuff together. And we gotta walk down in the woods a little piece and show you what I'm talking about. And while I'm here, I'm gonna refresh my scent. I'm figuring the deer probably won't come in today at dark. It being kind of warm, they'll come in. I'm gonna refresh my buck scent and some doe in heat scent. Kind of spice the place back up, you know, if you know what I mean. So keep the buck interested in this area because that pulls the does too, and you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna shut her off a minute and get my stuff together, and then I'll be back on. We'll see you in just a minute. All right, y'all, sorry about that. I'm back now. I'm in a little place where I hunt. You see, I've marked one of them. You see the little marker. One's got a different type of lure. That one's a doe in heat. Put it up here on these ridge lines where that smell carries a little piece. So that's what I was talking about, putting scent out. That scent will stay on them pads. If it ain't raining and the sun doesn't hit the pads a lot, it'll stay in there 3 or 4 or 5 days pretty good. Then you have to come back and refresh them. Because what you're trying to do is get them coming in here on a regular basis and get that old buck mad. Because he's going to wonder what other buck's coming in here on his territory. And he's going to come check it. But what I wanted to show you in here the other day, I'd sit down, and here's another one here. You can see where he's been tearing it up. So I'm going to spray it with some of this nasty stuff. Woo, mercy. Stuff might make you puke. Yeah, somebody run a chainsaw this evening. Whew, man, Jesus, that stuff stinks. Whew, mercy. Ooh. This is a ridge on the south end of the club. You can tell there's the west. There's houses right down in there, not far from me. And just going to show you something though that I found the other day. I forgot I've got another wick right here, and this is the buck lure here that's real nasty. A friend of mine makes. You could order it from him. It's called Trapper Trees Deer Scent, and this stuff pulls them in. I mean, Lord have mercy. Usually about a day after you put that out, on what it is, they come in here looking. And it's a obnoxious smell. All right. So, one thing I'm gonna show you is not seeing much in here. It's a pine thicket. You're not seeing a whole lot. One thing you're not seeing a whole lot of is tree bends and stuff. This is something that I've found before up here that I'm going to show you. And like I said, it's up to your interpretation. I'll give you my opinion. But I'm coming to it now, so I'm gonna see if y'all can see it. And I'm gonna back off of it where you can see it too. Let me back up a little bit. Sorry about that, I'm having to fight limbs and stuff. So, y'all see what I'm looking at? Interesting. Here's my observations on this. Them 2 pine limbs are not holding down that sapling. That is a sweet gum sapling. There's another one growing by it. Of course, it's got a little bend to it too. But here's my question. Them 2 pine limbs, how'd they get like that with this tree right here above it? And I'm saying this is just my observation. Well, you see, so how did them 2 pine limbs fall like that? Yeah, I know nature can do some things. I know. I agree 100%. But the other thing I want to show you, this tree is stuck in the ground. There's not a big log or nothing holding it. I mean, that's strange. Also, this is making a 6 point. I don't know if y'all recognize that just then. Let me back up from it again. See what I'm talking about? I don't know. I've seen this before in places. But that's a, I mean, is it a 6 point? Is it an X? You know, 6 points makes a circle. That's kind of a circle. My camera, 60, 70 feet away down the hill, down that way. Huh. I don't know. Like I said, I have found this before. Over at the other spot I was hunting, I did not find this, but I found the little TP and the 4 or 5 tree bows there in a row with each other. Also, what we call tall boy trail. There was a trail through the woods with the limbs knocked up 7, 8 foot out of the way. Now, deer are really frequenting this hillside. Actually, this is right on the border of the club. I get where I don't hunt much in the heart of the club. I hunt on the edges. One reason is a lot of the middle of the club gets a lot of attention, and I hunt the outskirts of it, which makes me take longer to get where I'm going, and also if I kill one, I have a possibility of it running on private land. The good thing is about hunting this side of the property, I know everybody, and kin part of them, and some of them's friends, some of them I've been knowing for years, and so if I do have a deer run onto their property, they've done told me in the past to go get it, and if I needed help, to holler at them. So that's one reason I hunt this side of the club a lot. Number 2, if I needed to walk off here, I walk right off this mountain right down to where they live at, so I wouldn't have to go around. I'm going to show you the rest of the area around here, and you can see, you know, there's really not any more tree bows right here. So, I mean, something right there. And I know trees move. They're trying to get to sunlight, the ones that's up under. I mean, because you can tell these trees are a lot smaller than the pines. So they're trying to reach the sunny areas. I understand that. I know wind does stuff. But this here just caught me off guard. You know, I'm typically looking. When I came in here Friday to hunt, Friday evenings when I found this, I sent this to a couple people, you know, get their opinion on it. They said it looked deliberate to them. You know, looks deliberate to me. Is it a sign for me, or is it a sign for something else? If it is a sign, if it ain't natural. But that is stuck in the ground, and this, like living pine limbs, were set perfectly. I just couldn't see how that limb could fall off one of these trees, make it through that tree, land like that. I just, in my brain, and both broke ends are over here on this end, and they're making a perfect 6 points. I don't know. Yep, sun just went down behind the hill. It's dark will be here shortly. Will tell you something about this area. I'm not far from the clubhouse either. Also, yeah, you see me come down the road down where I started the camera, started talking, is where my buddy from Tennessee, me and him watched one walk across the road there. Then another fella had the same almost repeat thing happen, I don't know, the next year I think it was. So yeah, somebody cutting down there. fact, that's where I used to live, right down in there. Y'all have heard me talk about when I lived close to the club on this side, on the south side of the mountain. I could take off right down in this holler right here. I would come out in my neighbor's backyard. I could go right through their backyard, hit the road, and walk right down to my house. That's how close I am. In fact, this other ridge that you see, there's another holler on the other side that is actually the branch or the creek that used to run through my property off the mountain up here. So that's how close I was to right here where I'm at now. And I don't know if y'all can hear the chainsaw running or not, but it's more likely down there at their houses. So that's how close I am to where houses are. That's why I think it was easy for them to find me. They just listened to my truck leave this mountain when I'd leave up here. Back then I had a 78 Chevrolet. It was a good looking truck. The guy I bought it from, a friend of mine, had gas packs on it. And the thing had a good rumble. And how I figured out, I let a friend of mine drive it back to my house one night because he left some stuff in his truck. And me and the other people stayed up here, and he drove my truck back to my house to get his stuff out of his truck. We listened to him go all the way down the road, down the club road to the county highway. I heard him turn on it. I heard him go all the way down, turn in on the road that goes to my house, and heard him hitting the gravel on the gravel road going to my house. Heard him when he shut the truck off at my house. Heard him when he cranked it back up. And listened to him come all the way back up here. And I looked over at Keith and I said, that's how them boogers found me, more than likely. They listened. They listened to me leave here and stop. Now, yeah, I'm going to say they've been rambling down there at night. But I wonder a lot of times if that's how they pinpointed me. I'd like to hear y'all's comments on this, good or bad. If you think it's natural, just say, hey, it's natural. I'm not going to get tore up about it. That's what I've told you before when I put the pictures out on the cornfield. If you didn't believe it, if you thought it was shadows or something else, that's fine. Just don't be belligerent to me, because I'm not going to be belligerent to you. I'll just say, hey, Mark, I think that's natural. And I'm going to say, okay, thank you. If you think it's more than natural, say it. Say, hey, I think it's deliberately made. I just like to hear what my listeners have to say. I know nature can do a lot of weird things on its own. Water, wind, sun can make things do stuff. I agree 100%. Not everything is Bigfoot sign. This in here is just odd. Just like in other tree bows I've found in places that they're just odd. There's only these 4 or 5 trees in this area that's bent. There's nothing else, nowhere else. Usually a sweet gum tree. Huh. Something else I've noticed. Usually, now I'm talking about in my neck of the woods. I don't know about other places. I'm just talking about here in east central Alabama at the end of the Appalachian Mountains. Of course, I got sister with me, so deer hunting. I am toting my rifle just in case. Not for a Bigfoot, in case a pretty good buck come running up or something. They are fixing to start doing some clear cutting up here. I'm anxious to see what that's going to do. Another thing what I'm doing right now is kind of just looking for other stein. Anything that's looking kind of weird. That's the thing though, that's the only thing I've found that looks odd. A lot more sweet gums in here, little maples. None of them are bending. We had that one other little sweet gum right over there, it's got a little bend to it. And of course there's something with a little bend to it. I don't know. Really just don't know on that one. Oh. Quiet up here today. Not too far from here, a few years ago, I had a peaker. And if we went on down this road, there's a road right down here. If I went on down that road, went up the hill, over to the next hill, it's another place similar to this. Went in there on a Sunday afternoon to hunt after church, and was easing through. I could see what looked like a black blob way down in the holler from me. And I thought I seen it move. So, of course, I started paying attention. And I swore up and down, I seen it move again. And so, took my eyes off of it a minute just to see if it would change directions or if it would disappear. I looked back, I seen it move back behind the tree. I knew then I had a peeker. So I said, well, and I'm probably, I don't know, down through the woods from it, 60, 70 yards maybe. And so, you know, by then, me and this, whatever it was, had done got into a eye-to-eye contact going on, because I could feel something with it. Well, not far up behind me, I heard a big limb snap in a thicker place up a hill from me. Well, I knew then. I said, well, there's one behind me. I said, there's probably another one right here somewhere. Of course, I heard more racket, so I did turn my head to look back. When I looked back, the one in front was gone. I knew then I'd been buffaloed. And what I mean by that, the one up behind me started making racket where the one in front of me could leave. That's my opinion what took place. You know, they done that distraction thing that they do a lot of times. I think that's what happened that day. I did walk on down to that spot, and I could tell something had stood behind that tree. But from there, never did hear another thing. Just stayed quiet. I eased on out of there, eased back to the truck, and went to another part of the club. Main reason just because I figured there wasn't no sense hunting there no more. A lot of deer activity in here. Y'all can see where they've been coming through. They got a pretty good trail in here too. Now here's some more what I call a tree bend. Now this looks natural compared to that. So that over there just, I don't know, that over yonder just looked made to me, but that's my opinion. That there, that looks natural to me. That tree over time's bent because either wind, sun, or something, and then that pine limb fell right there. But them other two, I just don't see how they could have fell like they fell. I mean, they could have. Now, I'm not gonna say ain't nothing possible, because it is possible. Lee's back out here, just kind of easing around. I want y'all to pay attention to, if you do see something else, please let me know. Timestamp it if you can. If you see something that you think is obvious or that I need to go back and look at, or y'all slow your video down, look at it for me. Send me a screenshot of it. So, hey Mark, check this out, because I'll come back and check it out. You know, I've appreciated it in the past when people pointed stuff out to me. People say you need to check something out, and I appreciated them doing it. So that's how we work together in this subject, is we help each other instead of messing around on each other. I know everything ain't everything. Now I'll tell you that's probably a squirrel. Squirrels will get on the end of a limb. They would trim it and sharpen it down, almost looks like a pencil. I don't know if they're making nests with it, or they're getting something out of that wood, a mineral they need. a vitamin or something. I don't know. So, and I know you can't put a lot of stock in these, you know, what we call tree structures, or excuse me, I'm sorry. Rifle's flipping off my shoulder. There we go. Sorry about that. So, now one thing in a pine thicket like this, or a pine plantation, is you do have a lot of limbs hit the ground. Pines, the lower limbs start hitting the ground, and that's the natural occurring thing. As the pine gets bigger, it's dropping its lower limbs. So that is very common in a pine plantation. So I mean, like here you can see a lot of broke down saplings and stuff. Yes, I think this is natural right here. I don't think something done this. I think it's just this group of trees died right here because they probably, the other ones was taking the water and the nutrients, and they died, and over time they started falling. I think this is natural right here, in my opinion. Now they are folded out all different ways, so don't know what to tell you on that one, but that is kind of odd there in some ways, the way it's leaning out. But and something's been doing something there, which, I mean, bark starts falling off trees. That's natural. What I'm trying to say, ain't everything in the woods Bigfoot. But that over there is very odd. Very odd. All right, let's see now. Get back down here to the road. Yeah, I'm gonna try to sit here in the dark today, listening. Also paying attention for anything. Ease up here to the truck a minute. We'll go past the truck and look around a few minutes. Excuse me. All right, I appreciate all our subscribers, the ones that's just come in, and of course the ones that's been with us since the beginning. Really appreciate y'all sticking with us. Like I said earlier, me and Rebecca really appreciate the support that we've got since we started this YouTube channel. We are growing slowly. Like I always said, I like to grow in quality, not quantity. And don't mean that toward nobody is an ugly way. I just really enjoy the people we got. And I really appreciate y'all that comment. There's some of you comment on a regular basis, let me know you enjoyed it. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Let me know that, you know, I'm not doing this in vain or anything. It shows me, it shows love when you comment. Actually, it does. It shows that you're paying attention to the video and what I'm saying, and I really appreciate that. But me and Rebecca are getting close to 1,000. And we probably could have been there. I could have really probably pushed this a lot more, and we'd probably already be there. That is going to be that will be a nice milestone, though, I would agree. And like I said, she's going to start doing the Pampered Chef. Yes, we're selling a product. So I have no problem with that happening on YouTube. So, you know, y'all have heard me say before, I think in the past, and I've told people, I have no issue with somebody selling a product. Also, I have no issue with somebody monetizing their channel and YouTube paying them. Don't have issue with those two. That's a legitimate business dealing. Legal. So I have no issues with that. I know, yes, I really appreciate the nice comments that people gave us when I was on Chris's show last Tuesday night. When I was on Rig Creek's Mafia show, I really appreciate the comments. And appreciate the comments that all of us had on Sawdust TV when we gave Mr. Bill White a tribute. Really appreciate that. And I appreciate y'all commenting after live, letting us know you like the live. I hope we're putting out information that's useful to you. We're not experts, but we're just trying to give you some information, because I'm telling you, food security is a real issue. I know y'all have been hearing me harp on it now for over a year, but I'm trying to tell you, I'm in the farming field. I'm in a lot of farming organizations. I hear stuff all the time, what's happening. Like I told you the other day, you know, we imported more beef than we exported in the history of the U.S. of this country. At one time we were the leading beef exporter in this world. Leading beef producer. One time we were the leading dairy producer. Yeah. Tells you some things. That's what's sad here in Alabama. At the land that I've watched be quit farming due to development of shopping centers, homes. Don't get me wrong, I know we need more homes, there's more people. But why do they always go do it on the best farmland? That's my question. Yeah, why do we build the shopping centers on the best farmland? The most fertile land. You can't grow stuff on these hills very well like this up here, except for trees. I mean, there's a guy lived up here and farmed this land, but it was more of an orchard. He grew grapes and plums and muscadines, had apples and pears. He did a little farming in these bottoms, you know, grew watermelons and corn. But he had to, he put it in an orchard, which is, hills do good for orchard land. So, hoping one hearing me talk might come in. You know, the sister sure has staying with me now all of a sudden. And she could be listening to a squirrel or a deer down in there somewhere. This is what Alabama's become a lot now. Pine plantations everywhere. I don't know how much land I've seen become pine plantations. Farmland, people's property. One reason Alabama got real popular in timber was back in the late 40s and 50s up north. Up in Wisconsin and probably Minnesota, some of them states, Maine, some other places where they was heavily timbered. The people up there got real ill at the timber companies because of the way they were clear cutting, you know, pretty much a massacre like they do down here now, and started getting ill and started running them off. Well, they had been doing experiments with pine about making paper out of it. And of course, South grows pine very well. And, you know, we have mild winters, hot summers, and pine likes acid type ground, so it does great on these hillsides. And so It plus land was cheap down here, and they bought millions and millions of acres in the South and started building the paper mills everywhere. Of course, the environmental laws were very lax in the South too. So yes, they started doing a lot of bad things. So my granddad's farm was on the river. I remember my daddy mentioning not long after the paper mill started up that you couldn't even put a trot line in the river for a few years. You couldn't even pick it up because of all the slime off of it. They had to do their fishing back up way up in the creeks where the water was still good. Not telling a lie, that's the truth. Done heard other older people that lived during that time period talk about that. Walk down this road down here. Don't feel anything. The sister did sure enough start standing right around me. So she's sensing something probably. One other guy up here on the hunting club kind of caught me by surprise. I feel like there'd been a lot of people hunting today with just a week and a half of hunting season left. But we have, they have harvested some deer up here this year. I don't know how many offhand. I'll go back to the sign-in board. I will look and see. I know they finally the last few weeks some decent bucks started coming off this place. I believe that cold snap we had really pushed them. The cold snap, in other words, hit right at the rut, and that just really stirred it up more. Because the does had to start feeding heavier, moving more, and so their scent was out there, and that just gave them bucks more scent to follow, and got everything going. See, I'm looking in here, I'm not really seeing these bows. Nothing real major anyway. Little wind picking up. It's up in the treetops right now. Y'all probably can hear it a little bit. Supposed to be warmer tonight than it was last night. Last night went down to 30. Now I tell you, I am thinking about doing something. And I may do it this week or next week. Even though I got to go over to the field where the thermal happened. I may one day, here in the next week or two, set this camera up and may walk off and just let it watch an area. Hoping this thing don't turn off, of course. That would be my luck. But like where I park my truck, maybe leave a camera on my truck while I'm gone. Stay gone a little bit just to see if something comes up to the truck. I do believe they check out your trucks. In fact, I know they do. I'm gonna be just point blank, they do. I think a lot of times they check it out when you ain't around. So I may set the camera up and let it run for about 30-40 minutes just to see what happens. Now what I will do is review the camera and won't bore y'all with that whole time unless I catch something in there. But I'm gonna start trying to do that a little bit. Just set the camera up, let it run, me walk off. Have, you know, maybe looking at the truck from 40-50 foot away and just see if something eases up and peeps in the truck. Doing it with a cell camera too. So there's no AR, IR, or any of that functioning. So hear a helicopter coming. February will be here Thursday or Friday. Can't remember. Yeah, Thursday. There we go. Yeah. Thursday, February 1st. Lord have mercy. Yep, next time I will put the phone on mute. It's not an important call neither. Y'all know what time of year it is. You know who's calling now. Lord have mercy. So when I go over to the field where the thermal was shot at, I'll probably go over there late in the evening, kind of like this, and stay to dark. And just see if anything happens over there. I'm hoping by me easing around talking, they're thinking I'm not paying attention. We'll see. That's all I can do. Just see what happens. I know they know I'm in here because they heard my truck come in. Or they could be up to the clubhouse. Of course, I'll pay attention when I leave here what happens too. So. Yeah, there's part of an old shooting house we used to have sitting here a long time ago. When this was cut over, they built a shooting house here, and of course over time it rotted. It wasn't that best of a shooting house. Everybody in this club used to not be rich, so we took what lumber we had, what materials we had, and we made stuff work. Of course, now everybody nowadays got to have these mansions to sit in when they're hunting. Takes a little bit out of the hunting. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care for tree stands. I quit hunting out of tree stands years ago. I ain't getting hemmed up in a tree stand. I will sit in the shooting house a little bit, not knocking nobody that does. Not knocking nobody in a tree stand. But I ain't getting hemmed up. So 2007 changed my mind on sitting up in tree stands. And then when I started hearing other people's encounters coming down the tree and one waiting on you, nope. I ain't going down that road. Getting out of shooting house bad enough, you know, but I mean, y'all have heard Greg's story. You've heard Mike's story. You've heard me talk about the two guys coming out of a tree stand being met at the foot of the, at the foot of the ladder stand by something that was on two legs looking at them. And of course, the 1998 Alabama Game and Fish article, Stalked in Dallas County, where that guy talks about his encounter down there in Lowndes County, not far from where I had mine. And then Mr. Bill White informed me about that. Never knew about that. And so me and that guy's sighting was 10 years apart, because I think all that really happened to him in 96 or 97. So 10, 11 years apart. And Mr. Bill already knew that, and later on he let that come out. He told me, he said, well, you ain't the only one that's had all that stuff going on down there. And so I knew I'd seen something. And that article is a very good article. I would, if you want to go check it out, just type in Stalked in Dallas County. 1998 Alabama Game and Fish. Trying to remember who the author was of the article. I think you'll pull it up and find it. Go read that. Very interesting what all went on. This one was making popping noises. That's what he heard first. He thought it was a hog. And then he watched this being on two legs emerge. It rambled around for a while, and then it kind of left off, and he decided that he was going to get out of there, and as he was coming down the ladder, he dropped something out of his pocket, and of course he said he had every rung on the ladder coming down, and he could hear it turn and come back. And it did run behind him. He did break and run. I think he finally broke out into a big hay field or something. His father-in-law had been waiting on him an hour or so, and but he said this thing was close behind him, and he gave a pretty good description of it and what happened. And then come to find out, there was some more things went on. I guess Alabama Game and Fish decided not to put everything in that magazine article. Mr. Bill went back and talked to the guy, interviewed him, and really went in depth what went on. There was multiple. Now, Mr. Bill, I think, did put it in a couple of places. I read it one time. I can't remember how he had it entitled. But there was a lot more went on. It just wasn't this guy. It was multiple people in this hunting club that was having encounters with these things. And they even had people leave the club, just like our club, like I told you about the older gentleman that got in, then him and his wife left after her having a bad experience. Then of course the other lady had quit hunting because something stepped out on the other end of the field. So also I'll try to show you where Bobo's cameraman, kind of in the area where he thought it was Bobo and something else. I'll try to show you it because that's over next to where the thermal field is. I hope to get somebody lined up for February. I did speak to someone Sunday night. I got to send them a couple of dates, see what works better for them. Because I do want to get our lives back started, having a guest once a month on our lives on Friday nights at 7. So I do want to get that started back. And so. Like I told y'all, I'm going to sit here. Because there's something else me and Keith learned up here. You don't have to go walking. They will come to you. I know a lot of folks walk through the woods, ain't got no issue with that, and that's fine and dandy. That's how you find a lot of sign, I agree. At night time, I do not walk. Because you get yourself in a predicament if you ain't careful. Number two, they just come to us. So I didn't have to walk. Just pull up, sit, and wait. Usually sooner or later, something would show up. Not all the time, but most of the time. Man, it's quiet up here. Okay, there was a sound behind me. I hope y'all heard that. It wasn't real close, but it was right back. Sounded like right down in there. Which could be a deer flipping through. Could be a squirrel, because you know they sound like a bull elephant coming through the woods. So we're going to ease this way just to see. Be pretty cool if we had a deer run out on top of us. Here I am with the rifle not ready. But hey, y'all get to see it, and that'd be cool. At the end of this video, there will be some pictures of game camera pictures, you know, of deer and other. I think I got some turkeys, fox. Alright, I think I'm going to stop videoing here for a minute, and well, hold on. Alright. One reason I backed out down in there, I knew my scent was in there. And I went down there and, you know, put the bait scent out. Usually when I put bait scent out, I back out and don't hunt it that day. Because my scent may get mixed up with it. And, you know, I do that just to keep from messing it up. But I have put that scent out before, and 20 minutes later had something on top of me. But he had to be close by. He winded it and come to it. So don't have that happen too often, but have had that happen a couple times. And it's a nice 8-point and 10-point that's staying over here. They're working that ridge. I don't know if they're brothers or what. I don't know if they're fighting. I hadn't caught them on camera fighting or nothing. They hadn't come to my camp in front of my camera much. The 8-point did the other day, but I think my 10-point's still here too, because nobody on the club has killed a 10. It's all been 7s, 8s, and 6s. So that 10's still here. He came in regular there for about a week, and then he quit. And then people started, you know, harvesting deer up here, and I got nervous, which, I mean, if there's somebody got it, ain't no big deal. It was a very nice buck. You don't see too many 10s. I mean, here, ours here is pretty much 6s, 7s, and 8s, typically what you see. Most of the time, basket racks. I mean, it just kills me. People want moose-sized deer here in Alabama, and it ain't gonna happen, I'm sorry. Unless it's raised on a game farm. Get one every once in a while, some blue moon. He'll be old. Usually back up in them rough areas like on Talladega National Forest or Bankhead, where nobody hardly hunts, and that's his territory. Alabama just ain't gonna produce that type of deer, in my opinion. Of course, I have somebody disagree with me, which is fine. There was a nice 12 that came off his club years ago, back when we first formed the club. He was very old deer. In fact, he done turned gray looking. He was poor too. Some of his teeth were gone. They were wore down bad. He probably wouldn't have lived another year, probably. He was entering the last stages of his life. He had a very nice rack on him. I can't remember the measurements. And then years before, over on top of one of the big ridges up on the very top where it's about 1,400 feet, a guy killed a very beautiful 10-point. And but that was like back in the early 80s. And there's been a few other good ones come off this mountain, but most of them are average. They're just average deer. And so we're just not gonna have the deer like they have in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Iowa, and places like that. You know, the further you go up north, the bigger the animal usually gets. The further south you go, the smaller the deer gets. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop videoing for a few minutes. Put my gun up. I'm the type, I don't hunt all the way to complete dark just because it gets where light is down, and I don't like to take a shot just because I don't want to wound one and it get away from him and me have to hunt it half the night. In these pine thickets, it gets darker quicker. If I was back down in the woods, you would see what I'm talking about. It gets darker. Like I'm standing up here where there's ambient light still. That's why it still looks pretty daylight. Of course, the camera lightens it up a little bit. But dark is approaching. And like I said, I typically never will pull the trigger on one when it gets much later than this, just because just the way I am, I just don't want to have a bad shot happen. And you get in timber like this, it's easy to make a bad shot because there can be a limb between you and the deer, and that limb can throw that bullet off enough where it might miss that deer or hit not a vital spot and it wound it. You know, it's a lot different than hunting on the edge of a field or on a green patch where you have a good clear shot. When you're in timber, you're dealing with a lot more stuff that you can't even see that could be in your way. And that bullet hit it, and it could bounce it off just a hair, just enough to where, you know, you might not hit where you're shooting at. So that's another reason when it gets toward dark, I kind of quit hunting. Unless I'm in a green field or, you know, around a big corn patch or hay field. But if I'm in timber, I usually quit a little quicker. All right. Well, I know this is a lot of sitting here, not nothing going on. But anyway, y'all show love toward one another. Be kind. Try to make up with your brother. You know, try to get along with folks. Be kind. It don't cost nothing. Remember all the folks that need prayer. I didn't know that Mr. Gary Spikes had been in the hospital. So we want to pray for him. I didn't realize the other night when he was in chat with us, he was in the hospital. And I'm very sorry I did not know that. So y'all be in prayer for Mr. Gary. keep praying for Mr. Martin D, that he recovers well from his surgery. Remember our friend Kathy, who has cancer. Her and her husband, y'all remember them in prayer. Greg with his foot problems, my wife with her foot problems, and also maybe an autoimmune problem. And I know there's more and more people in our chat. But there's some good things went on too. I've seen some people gonna have some grandbabies on the way. Anniversaries. Hey, that's cool too. But y'all remember, everybody, and I know there's more that I hadn't said. Y'all remember Miss PJ? She lost a friend here. So y'all keep her in prayer and her family. There's countless other people. And if I leave you out, please don't take that personal. Unless people mention their name to me, I usually just, leave it as prayer for everybody. But I know there's other people on our chat that's having health issues. Some of you can't get out because of health issues. So it's all of us be in prayer for them. Be in prayer for our nation. Be in prayer for your neighbors. If you're still working for a living, be in prayer for your co-workers. Pray for your family, your children, your grandchildren, your church, the schools. We need to be praying for it. We have a lot of things coming. And I know people getting tired of hearing that, but it's coming. I'll tell you now, it's coming. A lot of deception already here. A lot more gonna come. So, anyway. So with that, I'm gonna say a prayer. And probably gonna get off here, get my rifle put up, get ready to start driving back toward the clubhouse. And get toward the house. I gotta go into work tonight, so hopefully this weekend I can get the thermal field film for y'all. I'll probably go over and hunt one evening, just to show y'all what it looks like. And if y'all do have prayer requests, if somebody does have a prayer request, leave it in the comments. After you watch this video, leave it in the comments. I know Miss Cynthia was having some trouble. Jeff Townsend, I know at times is having trouble, and some health problems. And I know there's a lot of people having other problems, drama, that type of stuff going on. I call it drama. So y'all be in prayer for people with different things of that nature too. And some people's dealing with these entities, messing with them all the time. Be in prayer for them. And if you're praying and these entities are still giving you trouble, you're going to have to do some deeper thinking and see if they done got a legal contract on your place or something, and break that contract. Also, sometimes you have to fast. You have to put prayer and fasting together to get rid of some stuff. So y'all remember that too. All right, let's say a little short prayer, and I'm gonna get out from here. Lord, thank you for everything you do for us. Thank you, Lord, for letting me be able to come up here in nature and just enjoy the peace and quiet. Being able to maybe harvest an animal that you created. Thank you, Lord, for your many blessings you give to us every day and everything you do for us. Thank you, Lord, for your majesty, your love, your compassion, your peace, your patience with us, and your judgment. Lord, thank you for your Son, that you let him come to earth and become our sacrifice, our Redeemer, our Savior. Thank you for the Holy Spirit that you sent to help convict us and to guide us. Lord, be with everybody that I've mentioned and the people I don't know. Whatever problems they have, Lord, you be with them and your will be done. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Wind's kind of settling down. All right, y'all. Well, y'all come join us Friday night on live. I don't know if I have a guest on or not. Don't. Of course, Rebecca, I have a new plant to talk about. I'll have something to talk about. We just fellowship and have a good time. So, y'all plan on coming. I don't have to work Friday night, so, you know, we don't have to be in a rush with our live, you know. If y'all want to stay and talk and have a good time, we sure will. We'll sure do it. Anyway, a couple of times this month, coming up in February, I'm going to have to work on Friday nights. We'll still have a live. One Friday night, we may be trying to do a live from the woods. I'm planning on doing a little camp out, hopefully, if weather permitting and everything works out. And then 1st of March, I have another little camp out I'm going to try to do. One in mid-March I'm going to try to do. Either we're going to LBL 1st of March or mid-March, and then we'll be back at the 1st of April for the LBL meet and greet. Also, I'm going to have the one the last weekend of April down at Hatchet Creek. We haven't created a Facebook page for it yet. I told Rebecca, let's just wait till in February. That's about 2 months notice. Well, about 3 months notice. So if it's where y'all can make that one, that'll be a month away apart from the Woodwalkers. So, you know, give people time to rest from that. And of course, we'll be getting into hot summer then, and I don't know what'll take place. I'll be gardening and be probably coming up here in Creepy Mountain telling more tales. Hopefully, some of these people I've been talking to will come forward and go ahead and tell some of their experiences. I've got the guy with the rock I got to talk to. I've got my friend in Coosa County I got to talk back to. Of course, my friend in Tennessee. So I got 4 or 5 people that I need to get a hold of, and you'll see what they're going to do. So, all right, I love y'all. Y'all have a good rest of the week. We'll see you Friday night at 7. If you got anything you want to talk about Friday night, shoot me a message or something. Or if it's something you want me to talk about, shoot me a message on Facebook or put it in this video. Say, hey, on Friday night, can you talk about this or something? So anyway, all right, y'all, we love you, and we'll see you Friday night at 7. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.